I want to thank Redefined for their wonderful musical contributions this morning, and I would ask everyone to please be seated. Good morning. I'm Sarah Mangelsdorf, the Provost and Vice-Chancellor for Academic Affairs at this university. On behalf of the faculty and the staff on stage with me, as well as all the rest of the faculty and staff across campus, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Wisconsin. Whether you are a transfer student or a freshman, you are now officially a Badger. So welcome, congratulations. As provost, I work with the deans and directors of all the schools and colleges to ensure that we are offering academic programs and an overall educational experience that is second to none. Our faculty pride themselves on a very deep commitment to undergraduate, graduate, and professional education. And I am very proud of the hard work and effort put forth by each and every faculty member and staff member here on this campus. Convocation is the beginning of your college experience here in Madison. It's probably the only time, unless you go to someone else's graduation, until your own graduation, that you will see us dressed like this. But in this case, this experience with your class, you won't all be together probably until your graduation. So Convocation is so important that it was once a weekly event here. Can you imagine? So back in 1899, at the start of the academic year, someone thought it would be great to hold weekly mandatory convocations featuring lectures on various topics like the history of civilization. And I know you'll find this very hard to believe, but the students gradually stopped showing up. And Convocation ultimately became an annual event, which I'm sure you all find a great relief. The formal attire of academia you see us wearing today is one of the oldest traditions in higher education, and it draws from customs that originated when the first universities were founded more than 600 years ago. The long robes and hoods and the unique colors they feature are symbolic of academic communities, including what institutions we went to and what our field of study was. They also represent a link to your future. This ceremony of convocation serves as a formal beginning as your life a student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, which will end with commencement. So that's the next time you'll see us wearing all this gear. And that will be at Camp Randall for your graduation. And we will be celebrating all that you have learned and created and what ideas you will push forward. At this time, it's my great pleasure to introduce my colleagues, the members of the official platform party. I'm going to ask each of them to stand when their name is called and to remain standing. And I'll ask the audience to please hold your applause until all members of the party have been introduced. First, I'd like to introduce Argyle Wade, Interim Dean of Students. Raymond Tafora, Vice-Chancellor for Legal Affairs. Lauren Heller, Vice-Chancellor for Finance and Administration. Norman Drinkwater, Interim Vice-Chancellor for Research and Graduate Education. Charles Hoslett, Vice-Chancellor for University Relations. Paul Robbins, Director of the Nelson Institute for Environmental Studies. Jeffrey Russell, Dean, the Division of Continuing Studies and Vice Provost for Lifelong Learning. Elizabeth Petty, Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the School of Medicine and Public Health. Mel DeVilliers, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the School of Pharmacy. Mark Markell, Dean of the School of Veterinary Medicine. Linda Scott, Dean of the School of Nursing. Carl Schultz, Dean of the College of Letters and Science. Diana Hess, Dean of the School of Education. Barry Gerhardt, Interim Dean of the Wisconsin School of Business. Professor Larry Lesper, Director of American Indian Studies. Yogev Bennett, our student speaker. Chancellor Rebecca Blank. Patrick Sims, Deputy Vice Chancellor for Diversity Inclusion and Vice Provost and Chief Diversity Officer. Lori Reeser, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. Catherine Vanden Bosch, Dean of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Ian Robertson, Dean of the College of Engineering. Soyen Shim, Dean of the School of Human Ecology. William Karpus, Dean of the Graduate School. Margaret Raymond, Dean of the Law School. Guido Podesta, Vice Provost and Dean of the International Division. Carl Martin, Dean and Director of Cooperative Extension. And John Ballachino, Director of the Division of the Arts. Lois Brooks, Chief Information Officer and Vice Provost for Information Technology. Lisa Carter, Vice Provost for Libraries and University Librarian. Steve Hahn, Vice Provost for Enrollment Management. Michael Bernard Donalds, Vice Provost for Faculty and Staff. Jocelyn Milner, Vice Provost for Academic Affairs. Stephen Kramer, Vice Provost for Teaching and Learning and a Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Sarah Shute, Chief Alumni Officer and Executive Director of the Wisconsin Alumni Association. And Kristen Roman, Associate Vice Chancellor and our Chief of Police. These are faculty and academic staff who lead and support the educational mission of the university. And I'd like to also ask all of them to stand and be recognized. Please, faculty and staff who are in attendance with us, please stand. Thank you. I'd now ask you to please be seated. Last time we had one of these ceremonies, I left that line out and everyone stood there nervously not knowing what to do. You now have permission to sit. I would now like to introduce Rebecca Blank, Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Chancellor Blank is an internationally respected economist who has worked in 3 different presidential administrations, most recently as Deputy Secretary and Acting Secretary of the U.S. Department of Commerce under President Obama. She received her undergraduate degree in economics from the University of Minnesota and holds a doctoral degree from MIT. She has served on the faculty at Princeton, Northwestern, and the University of Michigan, where she was Dean of the Ford School of Public Policy. There are lots of reasons Becky says she loves being here at UW-Madison. Chief among them are seeing the ways our students engage in learning beyond the campus, beyond the classroom and beyond the campus, the breadth of the curriculum on our campus where we literally teach everything from Arabic to Zulu, the fact that public service and the Wisconsin idea are woven into nearly every aspect of what we do, and of course she really loves game days with Bucky, the Union Terrace, and any Babcock ice cream flavor containing chocolate, as do I. Please give a warm welcome for Chancellor Blank.
Sarah. Yeah. Good morning. Welcome to all the new Badgers in the room. Welcome to the University of Wisconsin at Madison. I hope you've had a chance to find your way around campus and that you enjoyed being in Madison on Friday night for the first football game of the season. Madison is always rocking, both before and after a football game, and it's always nice when you win, too. It's a pretty special class that we have this year. The 2018 freshman class is the largest in UW-Madison history. That means the graduating class of 2022 is going to be great. And we have about 1,000 transfer students joining us this fall as well, who are going to be graduating even sooner. The freshmen here were selected from a record-breaking pool of more than 43,000 applicants for about 6,800 slots. You're all here because you're highly qualified academically, and because we believe that your talents, your interests, make you an excellent fit for this university. So congratulations to you all. Now, I've seen all of you taking pictures, and it's now my turn. So this is going to be your first official portrait. All right. Everyone ready? Smile. Okay, you look good. I will tweet that from my account. If you want to see it, follow me on @BeckyBlank. Now, I know many of you are already on Instagram and Twitter with us, and let us see what you're up to as your first couple of weeks unfold. Let me tell you a little bit about the people who are sitting on either side of you. You come from 48 different states. Somehow we missed Wyoming and West Virginia, so if you have friends from there, tell them to apply next year. And you come from 45 different countries. More than half of you are from the great state of Wisconsin. And I'm very proud to say that many of our new freshmen and our new transfer students are the first generation in their family to go to college. And special congratulations to them in particular. So I hope you'll find that studying at a major research institution is an extraordinary experience. You can choose from among 124 majors, learn from world-renowned faculty, participate with those faculty in groundbreaking research, and spend a semester abroad in almost any country in the world. But this is also a place that can feel just a little overwhelming, particularly when you're new. So I get to exercise my privilege as chancellor this morning to give you 3 pieces of advice. First, your primary reason to be here at UW is to learn, to be a student. So take your academic work seriously. This can be a challenging place. The classes are rigorous. You're going to need to keep up with the readings and to do your homework, and your parents are no longer around to nag you. It is up to you to get the work done. A special warning. The students who get in academic trouble in their first year are almost always the ones who party too much. There is a strong correlation between high-risk drinking and academic failure, particularly for freshmen. So be aware of your limits, take care of your health, and be smart about all of the choices that you make. Secondly, get involved outside the classroom. It's the best way to make friends. There are more than 1,000 student organizations on this campus and lots of other opportunities like Badger volunteers to work together on all sorts of projects in the community. Getting involved is not only good for your social life, it's also an important part of your education. If you leave UW with only classroom learning, we haven't done our job. You're here for a residential learning experience, and that needs to stretch far beyond your classes. Expand what you know through volunteer work, internships, research, participation, leadership in student organizations, study abroad, and any number of other things. Why should we care about how you spend your out-of-classroom time? Because in addition to academic learning, we want you to expand your capacity for empathy, your curiosity, your understanding of people of different cultures and backgrounds, and your intellectual confidence. So by the time you graduate, you're ready to apply your knowledge and skills in a way that makes a difference in the world, and that requires both in-classroom and out-of-classroom knowledge. That's what we call the Wisconsin experience. I want to illustrate with a story. 4 years ago, a freshman named Hana Leiter sat where you're sitting today. Hana grew up in Appleton. She was the first person in her family to go to college, and she was worried about whether she could succeed here. So she worked hard and she got good grades. But she wanted more out of her college experience than just studying for the next exam. She knew she wanted to study abroad, but she didn't know if she could pay for it. So she asked one of her professors for advice and help. And the next thing she knew, she had a summer internship in a neuroscience lab in Bangalore, India. That experience changed her life. Hana returned to the UW, determined to learn how to speak Hindi. She added an international engineering certificate to her biomedical engineering major, and she's now back in India as a Fulbright scholar, helping to design life-saving medical devices that are simple enough to build and maintain, even in areas that don't have electricity. Hana told us the biggest surprise about UW was how readily people would help. How many things that she thought might be impossible turned out to actually be pretty easy to accomplish once she asked for advice and help. Which brings me to my third point. Ask for help. Like many of you, I'm from the upper Midwest. I grew up in Minnesota. I know there are a number of you out there who did the same. I learned from my family that I should take care of my own problems and not bother any other people with them. Does that sound familiar to anyone else in terms of what your family told you? It really wasn't the best thing to learn. Just because you can do things on your own doesn't mean that you should. The faculty, the staff, the advisors, they're all here to work with you and to help you when you need it. So if things aren't quite going the way you want them to at some point in this semester or the next, don't hesitate to reach out. Now, I know school is just starting, and your toughest issue this week may be figuring out if it's possible to get from Steenbach Hall to Van Hise Hall in less than 5 minutes. The answer to that is yes, but it's slightly uphill, so be prepared to sweat a little. Or maybe you're trying to pick a food cart on Library Mall. That is a tough decision. I have tried them all, and you really can't go wrong. There's a reason why Madison has been named one of the country's best cities for food carts. The point is, you're not alone. Everyone has questions and problems, big and small, and we succeed with the help of those around us. We picked you because we want you here as a student. We know you can be successful, but if you hit snags, let us know, because we'll help. That's what it means to be part of community. But great communities don't just happen. They take work. You have to get to know each other, and you have to get to know yourselves better. For many of you, this is the first time you've lived with people who come from different places, who look different, speak different, see the world in different ways than you do. If you're like the rest of us, you're probably a little more comfortable with people whose names and faces and speech are more like your own. And it's just a little too easy to always hang out with that group. But in 2018, one of the most important skills that you can acquire for your future career is how to live and work effectively in a diverse and a global community. So it's our job to help you mix it up a little. You'll take part in the Our Wisconsin program to help you recognize and challenge some of the assumptions you may not even know you're making. And we'll do our best to get you out and involved in activities and events, and maybe push you just a little bit beyond your comfort zone. One thing that's going to bring us all together as a community is reading and talking about this fall's Go Big Read book. It's called The Death and Life of the Great Lakes, and you're going to receive a copy as you leave Cole Center today. Go Big Read is basically the biggest book club you've ever seen. Thousands of people on campus and around the whole Madison community are going to be reading the book. Some of your professors will incorporate it into classroom discussions, and we'll have a big campus conversation in October when the author comes to speak. Now, some of our Go Big Read books have been about topics that are a little more removed from students' life, but this one is up close and personal. Let me take a survey. Raise your hand and keep it up. How many of you are from the following states? Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, or the province of Ontario. All of you abut the Great Lakes and should care about their health. It turns out that 80% of our students come from a state that borders on the Great Lakes. The lakes have a huge impact on us, and we have a huge impact on them. This is a somewhat scary book. I read it earlier this summer. It talks about how we as humans are changing the lakes and in turn changing the environment in which we live. I hope it'll make you think in some new ways about these vital natural resources that we often take for granted. Steve Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can actually change the world are the ones who do." You've come to a university with a long and a very proud commitment to changing the world by actively engaging on issues that affect people's lives. We're not afraid of robust debate on many points of view, even if they're contrary to our values. It is that conversation and that debate that is what free expression is all about and what learning in an academic community is often about. We value diversity. We welcome everyone who wants to learn, to work hard, and to be part of the community. Despite all of your different backgrounds, you now share a common identity as Badgers, one that I hope you're going to claim for the rest of your lives. You're students, and one day will be alumni of one of the greatest universities in the world. So congratulations on being here at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. My very best wishes for your time here as students. On Wisconsin. Thank you. One of our traditions at Convocation is a welcome on behalf of Wisconsin's First Nations. Some of you will know the University of Wisconsin, and indeed all of Madison, sits on the ancestral lands of the Ho-Chunk Nation. Professor Larry Nesper will offer this year's welcome. Professor Nesper is Director of American Indian Studies at UW-Madison. He knows the campus well, both as a faculty member since 2002 and the parents of two daughters, her UW-Madison alumni. Professor Nestor, thank you for being here.
Anin nindinoy magan. Puso. Anu shuak. Sagoli. Hanach. Hini karagiwa. I greet you in several of the indigenous languages of Wisconsin. Languages that are still spoken in this state, a state with 12 native nations, more than any other state east of the Mississippi River. In my capacity as Director of American Indian Studies, I would like to welcome you to Dijop. Dijop is the Ho-Chunk word for this Four Lakes region, where we settlers have sited our capital and our flagship university. Ho-Chunk are the indigenous people who ceded this land to the federal government in a treaty in 1832, making it possible for the state of Wisconsin to come into existence. So, as we settlers sit here in land session number 174, we are exercising our treaty rights. The U.S. acquired the right to have its citizens live here from the Ho-Chunk because we recognized that they were the rightful owners of this land. And though the treaty was coerced, we did treat with the Ho-Chunk like we treat with other nations because we recognized their sovereignty then as we still do today. Several years ago, in consultation with Ho-Chunk elders, we named one of our dormitories Dijop. Some people here today have recently moved in there. I would invite all of you to visit Dijope Dorm to discover aspects of local indigenous culture and history, including a full-size birch bark canoe built here on campus by a native craftsman and artist a few years ago. The Sauk, the Kickapoo, the Potawatomi, the Menominee, the Ho-Chunk, and the Ojibwe have all called southern Wisconsin their ancestral home in some way or another and at different times over the many centuries, if not millennia, that they have lived here. And they continue to live here as there are more than 86,000 American Indian people who live in Wisconsin today. Almost 60 American Indian students are entering as freshmen this year at the university, and they'll join hundreds who are already here studying. Many of them come from one of the 11 federally recognized Indian nations of Wisconsin. You may know these communities by their gaming facilities, which employ thousands of tribal and non-tribal Wisconsin citizens. In fact, 9 Wisconsin tribes are the largest employer in the county or counties in which they are located. Casino gaming has made for economic development. It has funded social, cultural, educational programs, language revitalization, and tribal courts, for example. The tribes as a group also pay the state just over $50 million a year in lieu of taxes. This payment is a negotiated recognition of the de facto monopoly tribes have on gaming, and it's a recognition of their sovereignty. You're going to spend a lot of time on campus. So let me tell me just a little bit about its archaeological significance. The Ho-Chunk descend from the people who built thousands of mounds in the shapes of animals and spirits in this region and extending throughout southern Wisconsin. There are more of these effigy mounds and archaeological sites on our campus than any other university in the whole world. These mounds were built between about 300 and 1200 AD, and almost all contain human burials. Including the Arboretum, there are 38 effigy and burial mounds in 6 groupings on our campus, though 5 groups are no longer visible or were destroyed. They are concentrated in 3 areas. These landmarks, they are sites of ceremonies and gatherings, are beautiful monuments for everyone to see, visit, and contemplate. At the top of Observatory Hill, there is a bird mound and a turtle effigy. These mounds are the only 2 remaining from an original group of 4. 3 more are located behind the natatorium on Willow Drive, just past Dijope Dorm. One is a goose mound, and the other are said to be effigy mounds, but because of construction on Willow Drive, they are undefinable. One more conical mound near the Frederick Center is also considered part of this book. 5 mounds are visible near the tip of Picnic Point that you can see while following the southerly pedestrian path. So I recommend that book that is up here, Spirits of the Earth, which is about the mounds in the Wisconsin area, actually in the Madison area, that you could consult. I'd also encourage you to consider taking the First Nations Cultural Landscape Tour on September 21st, 2 p.m., that starts at the Memorial Union. It's a tour that is sponsored by the American Indian Studies program, and I think will be quite edifying. You might also have a look at the university website and search under mounds, and you'll get detailed information and locations. So, in addition to everything else that you're doing here on campus, spend some quiet contemplative time at one of these sites when the weather is beautiful, and reflect on the long human history that is all around you. I also encourage you to pay some attention to the native nations of Wisconsin and their presence on campus. Both of these activities will afford you a perspective that you might otherwise not have, and each constitutes an act of honoring the indigenous nations of this state, past and present. Heche tuwelo, mio, an Wisconsin.
Thank you, Professor Nesper. It's really, I do recommend doing this tour of the mounds on our campus. They're quite amazing. We have another wonderful speaker coming up. You're about to hear from one of your fellow students, and I think you'll really appreciate what he has to say. Yogev Bennett, a junior from Milwaukee, spent much of his childhood in Israel and then came here as a teenager. He's here on our campus majoring in marketing and international business with certificates in digital studies and Jewish studies. He's one of our most active students involved in groups and efforts across campus. He has served as an interfaith fellow for the Center for Religion and Global Citizenry, as a facilitator for our Wisconsin program, and as a social justice intern for Hillel, the campus Jewish Community Center. He has been an ambassador to the Wisconsin School of Business, and he currently serves as a House Fellow and as a Vice Chair for the Associated Students of Madison Student Government. Now, I know we tell you all to get involved, but as freshmen, please do not get that involved. This is a lot of commitment. We'll save that for the upperclassmen. As Yogev is about to share with you, this level of involvement wasn't always a given for him. And what I love about his story is that it shows how transformative this campus can be if you open yourself up to its possibilities. Please join me in welcoming Yogev.
I didn't originally intend to go to the University of Wisconsin. I didn't actually really intend on going to college at all. I couldn't afford it. I didn't know what I wanted to study. I never considered myself good at school. But deep inside, there was a bigger reason. I was afraid. I was afraid that as the first person in my family to go to university, maybe I would mess up. Maybe I wasn't ready to live on my own. Maybe I wouldn't be accepted by the other students here. If you didn't realize, my name, Yogev Bennett, it's not your average American name. I'm a first-generation immigrant, born and raised in the northern valleys on a cliff in Israel, named Avtalion. It was only around 200 families. So imagine moving from Avtalion to Milwaukee. Yeah, I found it hard to make friends. I didn't understand English very well. The winters were horrible. And I found American culture kind of scary. I remember my first Thanksgiving dinner. I had no idea what to wear. And so after hours of searching on the internet and seeing pictures and movies of Thanksgiving, we bought a pilgrim outfit. And I showed up at the dinner dressed like a pilgrim. So as you might expect, when I arrived at my first day of school, I was very shy. I didn't talk to the other students. I figured who would want to even speak to someone who can't even speak English? And so I sat alone at lunch. I was in the corner of the classroom. And then I met my first friend, Zach, who was assigned to sit next to me in class and was, for some reason, willing to hang out with me, high-five me in the hallways. And over the course of the years of learning about American culture from Zach, I was just trying to fit in. I didn't think about the importance of our differences at first. It was really here in UW-Madison that I began to truly learn the importance of diversity. When I moved to Madison, I once again had to force myself to learn about other cultures and identities. I became involved not just in the Jewish organizations here, but in the organizations where I could constantly learn. I took it upon myself to learn and build the bridges between different communities on this campus, as I once had to do when I was younger. And I learned a very important truth. Different backgrounds, different ways of thinking, and different cultural values enable us to reach the best decisions. It's why companies like Google and Apple constantly list diversity as one of their top priorities. Throughout your years here, you will learn about identities, cultures, and ideologies that you have never experienced or seen before. And that's good. We need to embrace what makes us unique while also embracing the opportunities that we have to work together. We shouldn't erase differences. We should bridge them and form connections with each other. So overall, don't be like little Yogev. Don't be afraid to explore about and learn about other people. Don't be afraid to go to events by yourself. Join that club that you don't know anyone in. My freshman year, I went to the ASM Student Government Fall Kickoff. I didn't know anyone. I sat alone, uncomfortable and confused, for most of it not sure what to do. But now, as the vice president of ASM, I focus on making sure that we constantly get new voices at the table. Last year, I joined a swing dance club. I had never danced before. Now I dance competitively. So don't become complacent with being with only people that you know, taking only classes that you know, being only in areas and groups that you know. Get out there and explore. My final word of advice is this: not to scare you, but almost everything that I was afraid of came true. I messed up. I failed one of my first tests. I didn't make friends right away. But you know something? I'm still here. I'm okay, and in fact, I'm stronger than I was ever before. So realize that no matter what you end up doing on this campus, no matter what you learn and who you meet, it's going to be okay. Thank you.
Yogev, thank you so much for those wonderful remarks. I particularly like the part about wearing the pilgrim outfit to Thanksgiving, and also his final words of advice that you shouldn't expect that everything will go perfectly. There will be some difficulties, but we're here to support you. And that's part of what the whole educational experience is about. It's now my great pleasure to introduce Patrick Sims, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Vice Provost, and Chief Diversity Officer. Patrick has been leading our diversity efforts on campus for 5 years, and he combines his passions of theater, diversity and arts education in his various roles on campus, including serving as a professor in the Department of Theater and Drama. In his role as Vice Provost and Chief Diversity Officer in the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Educational Achievement, Patrick also guides the work of programs such as Posse, People, First Wave, Chancellor Scholars, and Powers Knapp Scholars programs, as well as the Center for Educational Opportunity, impacting some 1,500 student lives. His division also includes the Office of Equity and Diversity and the Learning Communities for Institutional Change and Excellence. Please join me in welcoming Patrick.
Thank you, Provost Mangelsdorf. How y'all doing today? All right. Maybe I'll believe that. I'd like to take this opportunity to extend a sincere welcome to each and every one of you. It is indeed a pleasure to be here with you today because this is one of my favorite days of the year, getting to meet new Badgers. We here at UW-Madison know that a portion of our strength that helps us build our campus community comes from our strong commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'd like to begin by sharing our institutional commitment on diversity. This is a statement that reflects the fact that UW-Madison has always had an unwavering commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. They are integral parts of our core values and the standard of excellence that is synonymous with what it means to be a Badger. So instead of me reading this to you, I'd like to have y'all join me and read it with me. Is that all right? Yeah? Okay, the words are going to be up on the screen. I'll try to read at a pace that y'all can follow. All right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Diversity is a source of strength, creativity, and innovation for UW-Madison. We value the contributions of each person and respect the profound ways Did I go too fast? Well, hold on. We're going to get time out. We got to get this right, Chancellor. Where's the screen? Is the second one? There it is. Part 2. This is what we call rehearsal in theater and drama. We value the contributions of each person and respect the profound ways their identity, culture, background, experience, status, abilities, and opinion enrich the university community. Ready? All right. We commit ourselves to the pursuit of excellence in teaching, research, outreach, and diversity as inextricably linked goals. The University of Wisconsin-Madison fulfills its public mission by creating a welcoming and inclusive community for people from every background, people who as students, faculty, and staff serve Wisconsin and the world. Give yourselves a round of applause. As they say in my business, don't call us, we'll call you. No, I'm kidding. So, what is my ask of you today? How can you make this statement come alive? How do we live this as part of our everyday experience? Think about how you engage with students of different backgrounds and experiences other than your own. Be open to the fact that it will strengthen your work and campus experience. College is just the beginning of the next phase of a lifelong learning process. Here at UW, our values are centered around the idea of inclusive excellence in community, our workplace, our academic and our non-academic environments. Of course, you will learn a great deal from your professors. You will also learn from each other. That means we should embrace the opportunity to teach and share our knowledge with each other. Over the years, as a faculty member, I've learned so much from our students. I'm a big believer that amazing students make amazing professors. Your passion and curiosity ensures that we continue to deliver cutting-edge research and curriculum for a world-class student experience. Remember, we are on your team. We want you to succeed during your time on campus. So take advantage of office hours and get to know your professors. We want to know you. If you can do those few simple things, I can just about guarantee you, you will have an amazing time here at UW-Madison. Now, I'd like to ask that you please turn your attention to a video that highlights how current faculty view their role on campus in connecting with first-year students. Thank you.
Fall is always an amazing time of year. We have new students coming in, and they bring great energy and spirit.
Here you have a great number of young people who are about to embark on the greatest adventure of their life so far. We're here to challenge them, to excite them about asking more and better questions. And what's there not to love about that?
It's pretty exciting to have everybody back on campus and ready for classes.
Well, I always get a little bit nervous the first day of class. You're walking through this room with 80 to 100 students, and they're all looking at you. But once you get in there, you can kind of feel the excitement and the enthusiasm. They're a little nervous too. It's their first day in a college class.
I get stage fright. I do. I get butterflies. It's as though I'm going on stage, even though I've been teaching for almost 30 years.
So one of the favorite moments I have during the semester is the very first day. I teach hundreds of students, and I sit there and I sip my cup of coffee and I watch them drift in, and settle in, and I love the scene because they don't know as they're taking their seats just how much they're going to learn in one semester. Like, they need to buckle up and go for the fun ride because it is going to be a blast.
Any professor who's paying attention really learns from the students as the students learn from them. And the truth is that, at least personally, some of my best friends in the world are former professors of mine and former students of mine. There are a lot of opportunities to interact and to learn from each other, and that's the exciting part about college. It's not a one-way street. Everybody benefits from this.
I teach because I like students. It's fun and exciting, and it's very stimulating for me. And so most faculty are really willing to go that extra mile and to have conversations with students and to help them.
I think that the students really need to take ownership for their education and be able to go out there and ask for help when they need help. They're going to be in a competitive environment with lots of smart people, and they have to overcome their reluctance to reach out for help. And if they ask, they'll get the help.
You don't have Big Brother looking over your shoulder all the time to find out where you are and whether you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so that's now up to you. You really do have to, stay on top of what is necessary. How am I going to succeed in this class? And that's also a very good question to ask during an office hour. I want to succeed in this class. What advice would you give me?
I think some students, especially first-year students, may feel intimidated about going to the professor's office, but we sit there waiting for students to come by.
So the student that comes in when they start to see that they're having troubles is really the student that is most impressive, because it's the student that monitors their own learning in a way to get the help that they need and get where they want to be at the end of the semester.
This is a great opportunity to find a mentor or many mentors and establish relationships with people that will help you beyond a letter of reference or helping you with schoolwork.
We have high expectations for students, and students are here because we know that they can meet them, and we're here to work with them. Sometimes the workload can seem a little overwhelming at times, but faculty aren't going to give students things that they can't handle, and they're going to give them the things that are going to push them and keep them motivated, not only through a semester, but through an academic career and then beyond.
I like to always try to get my students to realize that what we're working on in that classroom every single day is to give them tools to prepare them for what's on the other side of graduation.
There's nothing more exciting than seeing the light bulbs go on and somebody just learned something, and being able to facilitate that. It's what I live for. It's really fun. It's really what teaching is all about.
We're here to challenge students, but we're also here to lift them up to meet that challenge. So we can do both. We're not going to go easy on anyone, but at the same time, we want people to succeed and we want to contribute to their success. That's what we take pride in.
I want students to have serious fun. I want them to take their work seriously, take themselves seriously, and realize that they're here kind of on a mission.
Embrace all of college experience and make sure you're achieving a balance, but really do understand that you are here at UW to learn a lot of things inside and outside the classroom, and embrace every bit of it.
Explore, be free, cut loose, and for parents, stay out of their way.
The person that you are today is not going to be the person that you are 4 years from now. And it's an honor and a privilege, I think, as a faculty member to help students find themselves and to grow in that way.
You're starting fresh. You're starting new. You can invent the person that you want to be. You can explore. You can discover things about yourself. And this is such a fantastic institution with so much to offer and so much to teach you that the sky's the limit. You can become what you want to be.
Our next colleague is probably the one on this stage. Well, there are actually 3 newcomers up on the stage, but who can most identify with the experiences you are going through as a newcomer on campus. Lori Reeser joined us in July in the newly created position of Vice-Chancellor for Student Affairs. In this role, Vice-Chancellor Reeser oversees major units that provide student-related services on our campus, including the Division of Student Life, University Health Services, the Wisconsin Union, and the Division of Recreational Sports. It's another way we hope to ensure that your time with us is as successful, fulfilling, and fun as possible. Vice-Chancellor Reeser comes to us with more than 30 years of experience in student affairs. She grew up down the road in Waukesha, and as a first-generation college student, she earned her bachelor's degree at UW-Whitewater. Please join me in welcoming my colleague, Vice-Chancellor Lori Reeser.
Good morning, and welcome to the class of 2022. I know, you guys were just 2018, forget all that. Don't wear 2018 stuff on campus. You are now the class of 2022. And it's my honor to welcome you this morning. As the Provost mentioned, I arrived on campus in July, and almost every day I can totally relate to how you're feeling. I love and am amazed at the beauty of the campus. I'm so excited about all the fun and possibilities. And yes, I think almost every day I get lost and I feel overwhelmed. The Chancellor inquired about where many of you live and how you're connected to the Great Lakes, but we'd like to learn a little bit more about who you are as well. So I'm going to state some categories, and if you're able, I would like for you to stand when I call your group. So here's the first one. If you played sports of any type in high school, please stand. Wow. Awesome. Thank you. Have a seat. Good to stretch. So if you were musical or in the theater or the arts, so choir, band, drama, orchestra, please stand. Great. Thank you. Awesome. Please sit. If you are active in some kind of academic club, you define what that looks like. Stand up. Thank you. If fried cheese curds are one of your favorite foods, because this is mine, please stand. Woohoo! Awesome. Thank you. Now some of you are like, I don't even know what fried cheese curds are. Then you need to go to the Terrace of the Unions and check them out because they're super good. So last one. If you believe that one of our awesome athletic teams, maybe football, maybe women's basketball, hockey, or any of the other ones, that they're going to make it to a national championship this year, please stand. You should all be standing. You should all be standing. Woohoo! Okay, now stand up, stay standing. So now what I want you to do while you're standing is I want you to find someone you don't know, introduce yourself, shake hands, tell them where you're from and why you came to UW-Madison. All right, thank you. Woo, come back, come back. Thank you for participating. It's a good health and wellness thing to get up and stretch, and it's a great thing to meet other people. One of the keys to your success at UW-Madison is that you feel a part of this community and that you feel you belong here. Being new to campus, I'm still trying to figure out my own sense of belonging. And I've done some reading about what this concept of belonging means and how important it is to our overall success. As human beings, we need to belong to one another and to our communities, whether those communities are near, whether they're our families or our local communities back home. Social psychologists talk about the impact belonging can have on our entire existence. And he found that belonging is fundamental to our own sense of happiness and well-being. And feeling like we don't belong can impact our motivation and intellectual achievement, as well as on our physical or mental health. The other day I was reading on social media and I found this message kind of thing. It was a Post-it note kind of thing, so if you can visualize it. There was no author, but I loved the message, and this is what it said. Quote, "Just a friendly reminder, nothing about you is a mistake. You are a gift, and you are here for a reason. You deserve to take up space in this world, and we need you here. We need you here at UW-Madison, and we're so glad you're here. We want you to belong and connect with other students, to your faculty and staff, and by doing so, that will help create that sense of belonging. As Yogev mentioned, it's not always going to be easy. Some days are going to feel really, really hard, and that's common, and that's very typical for most first-year students. So this is where you have to push yourself. You have to push yourself through those feelings, get involved in rec sports. Lots of you participated in athletics when you're in before. You can do that, get a job on campus, go to programs in your residence halls, visit your faculty during their office hours. A lot of times they're lonely and they need to belong, so you should go there and help them feel connected as well. Every day, figure out a way to get connected to the campus and make it yours. We're going to invite you to lots of things, and we want you to join, and we want you to bring others to join you. And together, we will have a great first year, feeling like we all belong to the Badger family. On Wisconsin. So one way to become a member of the community is to learn about our traditions and rituals. And you got that a little bit this morning, but today, to wrap up our ceremony, we're going to invite all of you to participate in one of our time-honored traditions on campus, the singing of varsity. For a lot of you, and for me, this is our first time of singing this song, so we're going to all learn it together. So I'm going to ask Yogev to join me up front, as well as our redefined group and some of our student volunteers back to the stage.
So while they're coming up, Badgers have been singing varsity for 120 years. Penned by a Letters and Science School of Music instructor as varsity toast in 1898, the now famous arm movements were added in 1934. Varsity establishes a common embrace, a shared purpose. It captures the idea that your time at Wisconsin, when you're navigating your course schedule, making new connections, getting settled into studies and activities, this is a campus at which students, faculty, and staff will literally and figuratively put our arms to offer support, celebration, comfort, and congratulations. And now I ask you, Badgers, to please rise. Deans, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests, please rise. Already have risen. And we can't do this without the help of Chancellor Blank and one more very special Badger. Right hand, left, right, left, right, left, right. And now clap on the U-Rah-Rah.
Now, isn't that fun? You'll get a lot of practice doing that in your years here. So thank you again, students, for coming, and welcome to University of Wisconsin-Madison. Please remain standing for the faculty recession, and then you're dismissed to attend your academic orientations this afternoon. But don't forget to pick up your free copy of the Go Big Read book, The Death and Life of the Great Lakes, on your way out. All of us will be standing out there giving them out. We'll see you out there.